Hello,
Can you hear me? Can you
hello.
see me?
How are you?
Hugo, how are
Hello.
you? How is
I,
everything going?
I thank you. Here we are.
You're at Cafe Racer Spirit, I see.
Yes, we are
With your
working. Door closed. I'm here with Pampa. He's in the workshop.
oh, say hi to him. It's been a long time.
There he is.
Hi man, what's up?
How are you?
Well, working at least. It's good
It's good.
not
Yeah,
to be not to be locked down on a house.
yeah. It's better to be locked down with bikes.
Yeah,
It's
I
much,
don't have a garage near my house, so it's better to come to work.
absolutely more fun to hang out with bikes at this time. You
That's
can
right.
listen to them. You
That's
can
it.
listen to them, and they do not talk back.
Yeah, we keep occupied. Yeah. So how
Yes,
are you
very
doing?
nice. I'm doing good. How are you doing? I think Spain is right now in a little serious situation. I hope things get better over there soon.
Thank you. Yes, we hope everything improves and the government acts correctly.
Let's hope so. Let's hope to all the best to you guys, and I'm wishing that things clear out over there very soon, so that you guys are able to get your lovely bikes and your lovely cars back on the road right in
That's
time
it.
for the Spanish summer.
That's it. Hope so.
Yeah. Hope so. Well, good luck, and I hope that day comes very soon. In the meanwhile, since you are inside and since you are with some lovely bikes, I thought it will be a great time that we can have a quick chat regarding your workshop, regarding your bikes, and give
Yeah.
people a general idea. So, a couple of times before, when I did a story on Cafe Racer Spirit, and I put out articles on my social media and other places, lots of people were very curious and very interested to know more about you guys, to know more about what you do. How the hell on this planet do you have so many bikes at, you know, so there are lots of questions which people are very curious to know. So I think, I mean, great place to start would be to tell us a little bit more about how you got so many bikes and why do you
Okay.
want to make people jealous?
Okay. One question: is this now recording?
Yes, this is recording,
Okay.
and
Okay. So
yeah.
so
So whatever
let's
we
start.
just one request. When we complete the call, I would request you not to cancel the call immediately. At first, stop the recording so that it saves, and then we will
Yeah.
cancel the call.
Okay. Okay. No worries.
Okay, great.
So everything starts a long time ago in my family when my uncle and my grandfather, everyone owned vehicles. So
Hmm.
it was since I was a child that this world was interesting to me. Then
Hmm.
I met Juanpa and so on. So we started the business, my father, Juanpa, and I, the three of us. We
Okay.
had some vehicles already in our family, so we took them to the garage. And since now this is the one question, one moment. Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome back. Can you hear me?
Welcome. Yes.
Okay. Is there any delay in what I'm saying and what you're hearing, or is it?
No, I think we are hearing pretty well now.
Okay, all right, great. So I'm sorry for the interruption, but I think last we were talking about how you and your father got together around cars and bikes.
Mm-hmm. So I finished my studies back in 2014,
Hmm.
like 6 years ago. And since the studies were over, I had to start working. That's the order, study work. So I was thinking, what should I do? And since I've always enjoyed modifying, well, working with bikes, since this is a hobby for us in our family, then I wanted this to become even a more serious profession. So that's why we met Juanpa, and the three of us, Juanpa, my father, and I, started with Cafe Racer Spirit. This was in 2014. So it was at 2015 when we started the business.
So hang on a second. So 2014, 2015, that's about 5, 6 years ago. So you're telling
Yes.
me in the last 5, 6 years, you have
Yes.
been able to collect the massive number of bikes that you currently have in your workshop in five,
Mo-
six
most
years.
of Some of them are our customers that we are
Uh-huh.
working on, or maybe for sale that they have. But it is true that most of them are our property.
Wow, you guys are really lucky out there, huh?
It's more easy to collect bikes than cars.
So,
So
but I mean, like, was this collection of bikes, did this begin because you thought of starting this as a professional business, or did you start collecting bikes before the business actually began in 2014-15?
we had some bikes already for the past years in our family, but it
Hmm.
is true since the beginning of Cafe Racer Spirit that we bought more vehicles. Mm, with the we love vehicles, as you know, so we had to buy more for our garage and some other for sale to offer for sale directly.
Okay, so how many vehicles do you have right now in the garage?
With our customers and everything, over 100, maybe 130.
Wow, and these 150 motorcycles that you have,
Hmm.
I came when I visited your workshop. All of
Yes,
them were special in one way or the other, you know.
more or less. Yeah, we have pretty special bikes. If they are more common, they have something in special, which is low mileage or so, or
Yeah,
perfectly preserved, and the others are just very rare units.
very, very rare units. Like for example, I saw I think it was the Hap Auto, which I saw. There were a couple of them with you back then.
Here we have some.
Wow,
There it is.
there's the Hap Auto. That's the one that I saw, I guess. What is the
Yeah,
one right behind you?
this one is a 1982 CB
Uh-huh.
1.1. So it's a racing bike.
Uh-huh.
Do you see it properly?
Yes, I can see it. It's a two-stroke, right?
This is four stroke,
Okay.
1100 cc, four
Oh, okay.
cylinder bike.
Okay, okay. And what do you have right now? What special bikes do you have right now? I mean, you have so many bikes that if you just pan the camera around, I'm sure most of us
Okay,
won't be able to pick out all of them. But if you can
okay.
point out to some special ones.
We can start in this place, which is the
Hmm.
most beautiful area in our workshop because of
Yeah,
the light and plenty of space. We've recently fitted this billiard here.
lovely.
So we have
Wow.
some place here to drink and stay with friends or customers. And
Uh-huh.
well, in relation to bikes,
This place looks perfect for a quarantine. You have
yeah,
you have a place where you can have beer. You have a place where you can play pool, and you
yeah,
have a lovely collection of motorcycles to look at.
we can survive
Yes,
over here.
very well.
So well, here it is. For example, one peculiar motorcycle. This is a flat track or
Uh-huh.
100% original FTR 223, and it was sold in Japan. So it's very scarce around Europe.
Right. Most of the Hondas would be that way, I'm assuming, since Hondas were not officially allowed to make their motorcycles in Europe for a long time. So they had to make collaborations with European manufacturers, right?
Yes, that's it. For example, this one, Japoto,
Hmm.
what you can read is Japoto Paris, which is in
Paris.
France. But
Right.
this bike is, you can see always Japoto, but this
Yeah.
is an Honda CB4
It's a
from the
CB.
70s.
It's a CB 400. Yeah.
This one was upgraded to
CB.
1000 cc
Okay.
instead of
Uh-huh.
the 750 cc one.
Okay.
And that's the reason, because of this collaboration, that we could, I'm talking we as Spain, could import this kind of bikes.
So, since these bikes are exclusively available, the Hap Auto bikes and all the other bikes which are exclusive to Europe, they are only available in Europe. So, how is the resale value and how's the demand for these bikes right now?
It's pretty strange situation because these bikes are very scarce and very good, but people don't even know them. Some people don't
Right.
even know them here in Spain. So the ones who know about these bikes can pay high, but there's a lot of people, since they don't know they exist, they keep looking maybe for these kind of bikes which are more common, not this one but BMW, for instance.
Right. 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 Right.
BM.
And what are the? You have some other bikes on the other side as well. Last I
Yes,
remember, you had the CBX with you as well. I think you had two or three CBXs with you.
yes, we have the CBX around here. One, two, and the third one. This one
My God.
we are keeping this one for
Uh-huh.
restoration, 100% stock. This one is 100% stock also. Check the license plate, say B,
Uh-huh.
and this one is also CB. But
Okay. What does that
we,
mean?
which means CE is Ceuta, which is in the south of Spain, where
Okay.
Morocco.
Uh-huh.
So they came from there. But check this. Do you see the final numbers of the frame?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2213. And this one, 2214.
Oh, so they're just like one after the other in the production line.
That's it. They were
Wow.
produced 40 years ago, one after another,
One
and we
after
have
the
them
other.
here.
How do you get your hands on these kind of bikes and these very, very rare in these rare conditions?
Be- um, these bikes were brought from Ceuta to
Uh-huh.
Spain. So they were sent by the importer of Honda to Spain, and this bike was his bike that he crashed, and he had this bike also in his garage.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
we managed to buy both of the
So
units from his family.
he bought it together and he sold them together as well. But
Yes,
what I wanted to ask you is like, how do you find these bikes, since these bikes are so rare, these bikes are any which was very difficult to find? How is it that you are so successful in zeroing down on where these bikes are available and how to go and find them?
it's mostly searching and having good relations with people, not worldwide. Well, maybe of course the same as you. No, we have
Mhm.
contact with you, but we know many people around Spain. So that's the reason. Hey, Hugo, I found this. Would you be interested, or do you know
Right.
about anyone being? So it's mostly mouth to mouth contact, or just searching over the internet.
Okay, very nice. And how has your response been till now? Like, are you getting a lot of interested callers or interested customers who are calling you from abroad, from like the United States or maybe other countries?
Not the United States, but we did sell to Portugal, which is nearby, France
Right.
also, of course, Italy, Germany, and this last bike, this one is going to Switzerland.
Right. Because European markets are more friendly when it comes to two-wheelers and motorcycles. In America, you don't see so many two-wheelers, is it?
No, I guess there are more cars over there,
There are more cars
or
over
more
there, yeah.
interest, maybe. Do you know how it's going? Do
In,
you
in the
know
States?
about their preferences?
Yeah, in the States. So I have, whenever I have visited over there and I spoke to people who are in our industry, most of the times I get them saying the same thing that, most of the people here, first of all, don't understand motorcycles that well because that motorcycle culture is not that deep or that wide in the United States, as most of the
Okay.
people like to drive cars. What is that? That looks like something really special. I think this
this
I
one,
saw the last time as well. Yes, this is the police
uh,
bike.
we are talking about the United States, so here you
Yes,
are.
San Diego. Okay.
That's it,
This
an
is
original bike from San Diego.
This is
So
what the sheriff used to catch his criminals back then.
from the sheriff. And here you
Whenever
are,
somebody calls the sheriff.
the original advertising and a poster
Uh
with
huh.
Ray-Ban glasses and the same bike.
Lovely. That is so cool. You have like everything about the bike. It's all history. So, like for example, a bike like this, which is very American in every way it looks. How are
Yes.
these kind of bikes accepted in Spain or in Europe?
How are they accepted? This one is
Yeah.
very strange because I think there are maybe one or two more like this in Spain, and this one is immatriculated, so it makes it even more special.
Mm-hmm.
This B stands for Barcelona. So back in the time, the guy who bought this bike and brought it from the United States managed to import the bike and document it correctly.
Okay. Okay.
which nowadays is pretty much impossible.
It is very impossible. Even if it is possible, there are so many different rules and regulations you have to go through that it just makes things very, very difficult.
Yes,
Somebody recently was telling me in Germany that Germany has a big problem when it comes to modified cars and bikes because over there, it is not legally possible to register any motorcycle or any car which has been modified apart from the factory specifications.
yes, we have the in Germany there are very strict regulations, but in Spain there are also I think they are equally the same
Yeah.
because here the ITV, which is the tooth inspection, it comes directly from Germany.
Hmm.
So it's the same policies over there than here.
Okay. Okay. So,
So
I'm
so we
sorry.
have to modify the bikes according to some rules. We have to add e-marked components and install them in the right place. For example, here we have the bike. A bike, for example, this is the Yamaha XSR 700. The
Right.
headlight must be in the right middle. The blinkers have to, for here they are, very small. They have to
Very
be
small.
seen
Yeah.
30 degrees from here and from here.
Okay.
It has
These
to,
are these are rules in Spain that you're talking about, yes?
yes, that's it.
Hmm.
The mat
Okay.
guard is mandatory. Everything has to be European approved. This is Moto Gadget, accessories,
Right.
Rizoma. The exhaust has to be approved and not very noisy.
Right. There is some decibel rating which you have to fall within, right? I
That's
think
it.
it's 90 or 95 decibels. You have to be lower than that.
That's it. Around 95.
So in these couple of years that you've established Cafe Racer Spirit, I've been following you for almost 3-4 years now, and
Mm-hmm.
I have seen you diversify into two different branches. One is where you customize motorcycles and you create custom bikes, and
Yes.
one where you are, for example, sourcing these rare and very important and unique motorcycles from all across the world, and selling them. So, like, how have both sides been over the last few years?
Um, well, we are working pretty fine in what we started, which is modifications mainly. But since we have, for example, these bikes are racing bikes from the 70s, which are very, very, very strange.
Hmm.
As you can see,
What are those? That's a Dresda.
Dresda. This one is
Uh-huh.
a Dresda also,
Okay.
and check the mileage
Oh, it's almost new.
for a 40 for a 50-year-old bike
Yeah,
or
yeah,
40
yeah. That's
something,
all.
and check this one.
Wow. These are
So
factory condition bikes, man.
these were bikes built new but used for competition. But
Right,
as you can see, they got crashed, and this one, for instance, has the wheel crashed, and so
right.
this should be moved forwards. And here's another one, which is a very strange one also, Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people know about this one, and I have to stick information because many people contact us for this bike. They
I
want to buy
even I
this
have
one.
I have no idea. Like, what was the Shepherd? Like, is this a European brand, or like from which country is it? Like, what are the details?
I,
I've
I have
also
to
never heard.
I have to check. This one is English for sure,
Mhm.
but Shepherd I have to find out because there is very little information, and
Right.
this bike must be famous for some reason because many people from all Europe contact. Hey, I saw this bike. I want to buy it. So it must have
Is that
some history.
a steering damper? What is that knob on top at the T section? Yes.
Which one?
The big, yes, yes, that big knob on the T section, above the T section.
This
No, 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 on the T section.
on the key.
On the T section, yes, that thing. The big knob
This
above.
this
Yes.
from for the oil
Oh, that's the brake fluid.
for the liquid. I mean
Okay, okay, okay. I thought it's in the center, so I thought it's something else. That's the brake fluid. That's.
yeah. And the speedometer is over here, which we can read Krober something
Right.
strange.
Now,
But
this is another thing that I don't understand, that these bikes now in this particular motorcycle, this bike is so old, and it will be so difficult to repair this bike and get parts for it. How do you manage to do that?
because in this case, the engine is more or less common. It
Okay,
comes from a 500 cc cylinder. You see two
twin
exhausts.
cylinder.
Yes, but it's a single cylinder.
Okay, single cylinder twin exhaust. All right,
Yes,
gotcha.
that's it. So
Okay.
you can easily find this kind of engines, and these ones from the Dresda are just common CB 500, CB 6
750, CB
750
750.
cc. That's it.
Okay, okay. So these basically the Dresda bikes that you were showing in front. These are CB 750 engines as well as chassis, or only engines?
No, the chassis were different. Let me check if I
Okay.
can remove. Here you are. These were modified, as you can
Uh-huh.
see. So
Okay.
it's very different for the oil and the frame. Look how it looks.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cutout short frame.
Yes, the
Oh,
suspensions were changed. The alloy wheels made out of magnesium. This
and
is fiber.
the tank also is a competition tank, yes?
Yes,
It's a racing tank.
and this is whole fiber made.
Oh, wow. It's carbon fiber, huh?
Yeah, not carbon, but fiber. Yes,
Fiber. Okay, okay, okay,
yes,
okay.
fiber.
Yeah, that's what, like, for 40, 50 years ago, it would have been very strange to have a motorcycle made out of carbon fiber.
Yeah,
This is more fiberglass.
that's it.
So now, like, for example, you mentioned that the engine parts and the engine components are not very difficult to find because similar engines are available. But what about the body? Like, for example, I can see that these bikes, they need a new body. So do
Yeah,
you custom
the
make
body
it in-house?
the body kit is very special because it was elaborated back in the 70s.
Hmm.
So there's that doesn't exist any longer as a
Yeah, yeah,
customer,
yeah.
and therefore, if you crash this bike, you should rebuild it by yourself, or maybe you find old accessories listed online, maybe on eBay, or
Yeah,
or maybe some guy does reproductions, but better to keep them safe
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
preserve
yeah.
them properly. This one,
It's
for
it's
example, has a single headlight,
mhm.
and this one had
Twin
two.
headlights. Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like a bug.
yeah, that's it. And
Yeah.
here's
So
another,
mhm.
but
this is
this one,
the
yeah,
this is also a Dresda, yes, yeah.
no, this one is written Dresda because it was the
But it looks
same
like the
guy,
Honda.
the same owner for the four
Uh-huh.
bikes, which painted in the same style the bikes for the competition. But check this, because this one is a Martin.
Oh,
Super
okay.
strange.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's so much to learn and know about these old bikes.
Here it's
It,
written Martin. This is a single seat,
yeah,
but the final part can be removed. As you can see, it's defined over here, and you
yeah.
can
It's
take.
like a seat. It's like a race cowl.
Yes, that's it. And also,
Lovely.
of course, new.
88 kilometers, brand new, as good as new. So
That's
all
it.
the only problem is that all those kilometers that are there on the speedometer, they're all been used on the track, and the bike has been,
Yeah,
like used properly on the track. So
they are full throttle
full
kilometers.
throttle kilometers, yeah. Always on the maximum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
think
but
so.
it's,
Yes.
till the time the engines survive, it's all good.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
We have to check them and make them run properly. But
yeah,
since they are racing bikes, since they are all racing bikes, they wouldn't be allowed to go to the street. So
yeah.
in any way,
So,
they will
but
stay here.
but can you not convert? Like I've heard, most of Europe, I've heard that there are lots of cases where people buy racing motorcycles and racing
Mhm.
cars from auctions, and then they convert it to street legal specification. So you can do it, right? Like there are rules.
More or less, because we should make the complete electrical installation, and justify that these vehicles can be road legal. So
Right, right.
it's a bit messy. We could do it, but no intention yet.
Tell me one thing, like for example, the Dresda that you showed me right now, you
Yes.
the entire bike, the body needs to be remade, yes. So
Yes.
for a case like this, for a motorcycle
Yes.
like this, how long does it take you to, complete the rebuild before the bike is in a sellable condition again?
If we already own all the components, if we already have them at Cafe Racer, it's like a 2 month work. If we have to be searching for every piece, then it would take even farther, maybe
So
3 to 4 or more months.
4 or 5 months, yeah.
Yes,
And
taking. Hmm,
when you, after 4 or 5 months, when you eventually get the bike in that condition that it is ready to be sold, uh,
mhm.
how is the like how is the profits versus the time spent behind the build? Like,
The,
does it make sense?
sorry, I didn't understand that last part. The process of.
So what I mean to say is, like, let's say for example you spend about 6 months or 7 months to
Yes,
completely rebuild the bike. When
yes.
you sell the bike,
Hmm.
does it sort of justify for the effort you've put in,
Okay,
recreating it
I
for 6 7
understand.
months?
It's not very easy because you have to tell the
I'm
difference
guessing.
between searching hours, thinking hours, and building hours. So
Right.
the building hours should be, um, I mean, they should pay all the building hours, of course, but there are plenty hours of thinking, searching in all these old bikes. So
Yeah,
there's
because
a little plus on that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of waiting time also between you sort of diagnosing that this part is missing on the
Yes.
bike, and
Mm.
then going on the internet, finding it, talking to friends.
Yes.
It takes a lot of time.
Yes. Everything has its bright side and its not that bright one. Because
True.
if you want something exclusive, um, in the other hand, it will be hard to fix or expensive or everything.
Everything. So in between these two comparisons, where one is where you are modifying a motorcycle, you making a
Hmm.
custom bike, and the other is that you are restoring an old bike to its original format. Which one do you find more easy, or which one do you find more exciting to do?
Between restoring or customizing,
Mm-hmm.
we enjoy more customizing because it's more creative.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of culture around you as well, which you can enjoy with customizing. Like, for example, at Biarritz, which I think Biarritz
Yeah.
is what, about 200 kilometers, not even 200
Not
kilometers, less
even,
than.
it's like a 40-minute trip from here.
Oh, 40.
Very,
Wow. So
very, very near.
for those guys who don't understand Biarritz is the place where one of the biggest custom motorcycling event in the entire world takes place, and
Mhm.
that is 14 kilometers from where you are. Wow, you're a lucky
Yes.
man. You have more
The,
than 150 motorcycles, and the world's biggest custom bike event about 14 minutes from your
yes. It's
workshop.
very, very easy to us
Yeah,
to travel there. The last shows in that event, which is Wheels and Waves,
wheels
mm,
and waves. Yes.
we traveled there and then came back to our homes to sleep. So it's that near that we can even go with the bikes riding them. While
Yeah.
people come from Germany with trucks and everything, so people are very jealous that we are very
Yeah.
near.
That's true. That is absolutely true. And I am more or less sort of thinking that not just during Wheels and Waves, but apart the rest of the year also, San Sebastian, where you are and where your workshop is going to be a sort of place where surf culture and motorcycle culture come together in a
Yeah,
very sort of very nice
they
way.
they get along very well. People, there are many surfers around. Many Australian people are coming here because, well, San Sebastian is a small city, but we have everything. There's a sea, there's mountain, there's food, there's culture. The, in the past, the weather wasn't so great, but nowadays there are more sun days per year. So everything is going fine over here, and
Yeah,
many people. And I think this is the place with more three-star Michelin restaurants.
restaurants. Yeah.
Yes, so everything.
Yeah, I
Tell
think
me, tell me about.
like when last time I was in Spain, I found Spain to be one of the most exciting countries for someone who rides motorcycles because
Yes.
the climate and the terrain, which is mostly flat with a little bit of hills and a little bit of rocky terrain as well. For
Hmm.
somebody who likes doing trails or somebody who likes going out on an adventure, I think Spain presents a very unique and a very exciting place.
There are many alternatives to do. You have also the islands, which are perfect. Uh,
Yeah.
Mallorca, Tenerife. They are very nice places
But
around.
correct me if I'm wrong. Nowadays, on all these islands, it's more about partying than motorcycling, isn't it?
No, it's just more like Ibiza. This is
Yeah,
the main place for partying,
yeah.
but Formentera is a very relaxed island, and Tenerife and so on. It is true that the islands are associated to party, but you can be completely relaxed.
You can
Not
enjoy
in
yourself as well.
not in Ibiza because that is
Yeah, of course.
absolute chaos,
Yeah.
but in the rest, in the other ones, yes.
Right. So, like, apart from like from the time you spend from modifying motorcycles and curating motorcycles, buying and selling, do you yourself participate in any motorcycling activity, event, sport, anything else?
Mm, we are mostly working full time on the workshop. So whenever it comes to events, we go to Wheels and Waves and we go to some other which are organized in Spain. We don't move abroad. We don't assist to places. For example, in Germany, this is a small business. We have many bikes, but we don't want to expand a lot yet.
Yeah.
So
It's
we are happy with our work, with how we are doing, and wouldn't like to go to every place because we can't work on that many bikes.
quality is more important than quality,
Yes, that
quantity.
that that's what we think.
True. You have a great selection of bikes, and I think there is one area on the back which we have still
Yes,
not explored.
I was here just to do this.
Okay. This is my favorite section.
Uh-huh.
If you could
Yes,
just go
because
through what all we are seeing. Oh, lovely. There's one
the,
more.
this is the entrance. So
You have
when
no
you
more
come,
space to fit anything else in here, Hugo. You need to stop hoarding motorcycles and cars.
I have to. There are many people. This is customer. There are like 20 bikes around here which need to be sent, but
Yeah.
people don't want to go take them yet because of the situation. Yeah,
Right. But
better keep them here.
you possibly cannot fit any more motorcycles in this workshop. It's
No,
already
I
full.
I, I can hardly pass around here, pass through
Yes,
here. Yes.
I remember the last time when I was there, that car wasn't there, so I was able to go through and take a few photos of the motorcycles lined up over there from behind.
Yeah,
Tell me what we are looking at. Like, I think that's a
the Honda.
VFR. The Honda is a VFR.
The Honda is a Honda CX 500. There you
Ah,
are.
CX 500, the one with
But
the Moto Guzzi style
yes,
engines,
you,
the
you,
V
you
twin.
cannot you cannot see from here because of the
Right.
fairing. But if
Uh-huh.
I move over here, you will spot one cylinder.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yes,
Similar to the
yes.
Moto Guzzi where it pops out on both sides.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
But this one is a turbo, so it increased a lot of power. This was one of the
Wow.
very first bikes with turbo
Uh-huh.
from the 80s. You can tell because of the design. And as
Bike
a
must be crazy
curiosity,
back in the 80s, huh?
sorry?
I said this bike must be crazy back in the 80s.
Yes, they were not very sophisticated turbos. They were very, wah. So people
Uh,
had many
on
troubles
off.
with it.
You're on the
Yeah,
bike, you're on the bike.
yeah, that's it. So this bike, for example, has been repainted. What's
Uh-huh.
the reason? The owner fault.
Oh.
Yeah, because of that kind of turbo.
Yeah.
I drove it, but very slowly and carefully. So
Yeah.
here it
These
is.
old bikes don't even have proper electronics, yeah? They have got very little electronics, not enough to, stop on time.
Yeah, that's it.
Have ABS.
Hmm?
Does it have ABS?
No,
No ABS, no
no,
traction control, nothing.
no, nothing at all.
Now V twin with a turbocharger on it.
Sorry,
And it has a V-twin with a turbocharger on it.
a double charger.
Turbo with a turbo on it.
Double. What is that?
Turbo.
Turbo. Sorry, yeah, here it is, the turbo. That I wanted to explain this. Turbo
Uh-huh.
is written otherwise. What is the reason? So you can see through your car that a turbo is coming.
Okay, it's like the ambulance. You can see from a distance.
Yes,
The
it's the same. So this is a funny thing for the bike.
Cool. Very nice. See, these are these intricate details which used to be there in older bikes, which are not there. There's a lot of character on these older motorcycles as well as cars, which they're not there today.
Yes, people paid attention to everything, and nowadays car and vehicles, bikes in general, are all similar. Maybe a Triumph old days was very different from the Japanese ones, but nowadays you search for a 2020 Triumph and it might look like a Japanese bike or otherwise. They finally look the same. It's
They are all the
very
same.
difficult to see something uncommon. Maybe
Yeah, absolutely.
do you know the Husqvarna bikes?
Husqvarna, yes. We've
Yeah.
just launched Husqvarna in India as well. We started
Uh-huh.
with the smaller bikes though. We started with the Husqvarna 250, which launched 2 months ago, I guess.
Okay. That ones, for example, in my opinion, have a different design. So
Right.
I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Here there is all vintage motorcycles, so
Uh-huh.
I cannot
Last
show
time,
you
I was there, you had a Suzuki Katana as well, yes? The turbo.
this one.
This is the one which we were there last time. I'm not sure if this is the same bike or not.
The Katana. This is the
Yeah.
Katana, yes.
This is the
Very
same
strange.
bike or not? I'm not sure, but yeah.
It's very, this one is very special. As you can see, it has a different combination of colors.
Color scheme. Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. The color scheme
And
looks very unique.
the reason for this, let me see where the place here.
Uh-huh.
Resin cores.
What is
So
that? Is that a customizer?
yes, a customizer from back in time. As you can
Uh-huh.
see, it's different, very strange and different combinations.
Yeah.
And this was a customizer. He did very few units of these ones
Uh-huh.
and sold to Italy and some other place, but I don't remember well. And this
Okay.
bike was brought to Spain from there was a Spanish guy working in Italy as a bartender. He bought the bike and came back with it.
Wow. Awesome.
So
Each and
that's
every
the reason.
motorcycle has their own story.
That's it. So many years, so many stories.
Lovely. Awesome.
Our collection.
So when the lockdown finally gets over, when the quarantine finally gets over, what is the one motorcycle out of all of these that you would like to take out and just head out as fast as you can in legal
Mm.
speed limits, of course?
I always enjoy riding this one. This
Uh-huh.
is a two-stroke Kawasaki from the 70s,
Oof.
50cc, and it
Wow.
was one of the most powerful back in time. And this one,
502 stroke.
yes,
That thing
three.
will be madness.
It's
Oh, three-cylinder.
yes, the kilometers are original, but it has been restored. As you can
Uh-huh.
see, it's new. And the only way to start it is kickstart.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do this because of the whole pollution.
Yeah,
It will,
your clothing and everything will get
yes,
this thing ruined with that.
everything would get very dirty. But the
Yeah.
bike's really mega fast.
I can
So
imagine a 500cc three-cylinder two-stroke.
two exhausts on one side and
This
another
this
one
is
to the other.
wow. This will be a great bike to scare somebody on their first time out on a motorcycle. Yes.
Yeah, when I drive this one and I give a little, well, some throttle,
Uh-huh.
all ladies look very bad at me. So when I'm in the city, I ride very slow just to
Yeah.
avoid trouble.
To avoid all the trouble. That's true.
Yes.
That's what you should do. Hey, and also, by the way, last time when I was there, you showed me your collection of apparel, which you were coming up with, the t-shirts and everything else. How's that doing?
About the t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
well, we have Our main job is the workshop, but
Yeah.
we have this little area
Yeah.
with our product in display. So people who
I see
want
some new
to,
stuff.
yes, people who want to buy some stuff and and carry it with them. We have
Yeah.
some fans, as you know. So
Awesome.
here it's children clothing. Then we are moving to small sizes, S sizes. Here we have M and L, and here
Yeah.
we have like more grown-up people.
Yeah. This is also available on your website?
Yes, it is, but we are not selling these days.
Okay, because
We
of
are,
the
yes,
coronavirus.
that's it.
Okay. So, but if anybody wants to buy these clothing or all of these apparel from you, they can go to your website and buy it. Otherwise,
Yes,
non-coronavirus times.
that's it.
That's great. Awesome. What is this? This is something which is new. I have not seen this before.
This is new. This is very old helmets, but new from the,
Uh-huh.
as you can see,
Yeah.
L. This is very strange. We have another helmet over here, which is Kiwi.
Wow, I've never even heard of these brands.
No, they were mostly Spanish known, but very very rare. These
So
are
is all of
bit.
these, uh,
Hmm.
is this all for sale also?
The helmets are for our collection because they are
Okay.
30-year old or so, and we are
Mm-hmm.
keeping it because they are new and very
Right.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
These items, for example, the Bitwell Moto goggles, these ones are
Yeah.
for sale, as well as
Uh-huh.
this and all these accessories, electrical,
Uh-huh.
headlights, grips. With all this, most of this, you can build a proper motorcycle
Yeah,
using
for
them.
sure. Just, I think just from your collection of motorcycles and the aftermarket accessories you have, you can easily build whatever kind of motorcycle you want.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
very funny. I wanted to show
What is that?
old grips. I mean, new old stock grips, but
Mm-hmm.
look at them.
Ah, nice.
Like,
Pretty cool.
so we will do some crazy bike
Uh-huh.
and install these Harris grips.
Superb, superb. But I'm guessing this year Wheels and Waves is not going to happen, so you are going to make the bikes for next year.
That's it. It was like 2 or 3 days ago, I think, that Wheels
Yeah.
and Waves announced in their website and Instagram that the event will be cancelled for now
Mm-hmm.
and to keep alert to the new date.
Um, it's sad what's happening, but unfortunately, it's something we can't do anything about. Best we can do is stick around with our bikes and hope for the next event whenever it comes.
Yes, of course.
So, any idea what bike you're planning to make for the next event? Like what brand in general?
For our a bike for
For
display,
yeah,
you mean?
yes, for your own custom motorcycle, whatever you have in plan next.
We have some motorcycles. I showed the Dresdas and Moto Martin over there, but we have
Hmm.
another Moto Martin here
Okay.
with the double headlight. And check this, because the frames were chromed
Uh-huh.
by this constructor. So this is
Okay.
like the Katana we saw before
Yeah. Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
racing course. That
Mm-hmm.
was a 750cc Katana, but
Right.
there also existed in 1100. So this
Right.
is a
Yes.
1100cc Katana engine. Here it is
Okay.
with the
Okay.
carburetors and so on. But the engine was built by Moto Martin, as well as the exhaust, as well as all the fever kit. And
Okay.
for example, in relation to brakes, Moto Martin was a French constructor. He took the best brakes from that time, from the 80s. And these Brembo are, for example, the BMW R100 ones.
Okay.
He
Okay.
considered these brakes to be the best. So he took them from the best
Right,
models.
right. This is somewhat similar to this one story or one article which I had covered in the middle. That the reference to the katana which you were saying, the katana 1100, isn't the katana 1100 only made by this one guy in Japan?
You mean AC Sanctuary?
Yes, he's the only
Oh,
person. I think he's in Hiroshima.
Maybe yes. I don't remember now, but maybe yes.
Because I met one gentleman on Instagram a couple of years ago, and he has five katanas, and all
Oh,
his five katanas are all 1100s.
okay.
So he was telling me that there is this one person. I'm really sorry, I don't remember his name, but if I go back on Column M, I have a story on him. I can read out the name to you from there. But
We
there's
will
this
check.
one person in Japan. In I think he's in Hiroshima, and he's the
Okay.
only person in the world who does the 1100 conversions for katanas.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he's so famous that people have been sending him katanas from all across the world. And right now, he's got a 1.5 or a 2 year waiting list for
Okay. Oh,
for
nice.
retrofitting those engines to the bikes.
Yeah, he must be doing a good job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I guess it's the same person we are talking about.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Lovely stuff.
Thank
Um,
you.
I think we cannot get bored by looking at your bikes. I can just keep looking at all of them. Keep, if you left me in your workshop and locked me from the outside during the quarantine, my everyday routine would be to wake up, go from the one corner of your workshop, turn everything on, give some thought, feel and enjoy that sound, go to the next bike, and continue doing that throughout the day.
Yeah, it's very
So,
funny that people who first visit us that come to the workshop, they're like wandering around like this, and maybe they step in this same place after 20 minutes, and hey, this bike wasn't here.
I
Yeah,
can
of course
imagine.
it was.
There's
You
so
got
many of them.
yeah,
Hard to lose touch. Easy to lose.
they get a little dizzy. So
Yeah.
I always take I always tell them, take your time. I will be working in the office, Juanpa's in the workshop. If you want to visit our collection, you can walk slowly and take pictures and everything. But take
Yeah,
your
yeah.
time because there's many bikes and many information and everything.
Now I think you should issue a new advisory where you should tell them that to come to the workshop in two parts. Day one, you only visit one section of the
Ah,
motorcycle.
that's true.
See and do your Google research and find out more about them, because I'm sure you can spend hours just researching about those motorcycles. And then he can
Yeah,
come back on the second day and look on the rest.
yeah, that's it. That's it. A good advice you got there.
So awesome. I think this was a great call. Thank you so much for doing this. Um,
No,
your
thank you for
workshop
calling.
Your workshop was an eye opener for me when I came back in 2018, and
Uh-huh.
even today it has nothing has changed. Today, even if today I had a chance, I came to your workshop and I looked around in all those bikes, I'll probably be having the same reaction as I did in
Will will
2018.
will you come back? That's
Of
the
course, I
question.
will. Of
Okay,
course,
you
not right now, but
not right now,
eventually, yes.
but we will be waiting you. I'm going upstairs just to show you from the upside the whole
Uh-huh.
workshop,
Oh
and
yeah, the best view.
we have some gas tanks also. You can check
Yeah,
now.
awesome.
This is like a little expo of gas
Mhm.
tanks which we use for decoration, or maybe a customer of ours buys one bike and wants to install one of these. So it's also possible.
That's right.
Here's the workshop, and I'm moving in the upper place, being careful not to hit the roof. Many gas tanks from everything. They are mostly 70s, 80s gas tanks that are very perfect for cafe
Very
racer, as you see, very straight from the
flat
from the
tanks. Yeah,
downside,
yeah,
from the bottom part. I mean, these ones are very looked after, the BMs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And, and
And that's the
here's the
workshop. Wow. This is one place where I can probably, take a coffee and sit for a couple of hours easily.
yes.
What a lovely view. You guys are lucky, man. Really
Thank you.
lucky.
People think this is easy, but it's very
No,
very difficult. It's not a
I can
hobby.
imagine.
It's work. So we have to do our best for.
Yeah, and I mean, only people who have the passion who can, if you consider this as work, you will not be able to probably do it. Only if you have that passion and that you really want to work with them, you really want to be with those bikes, then only you can understand and do and expand to what you have achieved today.
Yeah, that's it. But well, we are very, very happy and working full time with projects, with ongoing projects. We have personal projects, but we are not working on them. We have no time. That is good in a good way, but in another because I'm moving like in one bike. I would like
Yeah,
some mother to enjoy.
of course, of course. And you have been recently also sort of moving towards cars, but I think that is something
Yeah,
that we can probably speak on, in detail over on a next
of
episode or on a
course,
next call. So,
of
we can
course.
have more people from a different side of motoring who can
Mhm.
enjoy to see what kind of cars you've collected over the last couple of years. And by the way, for those people who are listening to us talking about these cars right now, I can assure you these cars are some really, really rare cars, some really
Mhm.
special cars. Some of them, Hugo, you already shared with me, and my eyes were like wide open, like, wow, are these
Yeah.
cars for real? Like yesterday, you shared BMW, I guess, which was just one of one, the Alpina. Oh, that's the Alpina. Yeah, that's the one.
There you have it.
There you. That's a one
One
of
of
one.
one.
Yes. There you go.
Because this is a very, I'm going down. Well, we can talk about this about cars in another episode.
Definitely. There's so much to talk about that I think
Yeah,
people will be overwhelmed. We've been already talking for almost an hour now, and
yeah,
people
but
will be overwhelmed with the information. But I think people would definitely love to know more about your car collection and how you go about curating and collecting cars as well. And that is something we can definitely do in the next episode. Wow, look at that
yeah,
beauty.
here it is.
That's is that
This
original
is
paint?
this is a very, very well, as you said, one of one.
One of
And
one, yeah.
people might say, no, this is not Alpina because it has no bodywork, no Alpina written. But hey, Alpina was not a brand back
Yeah.
in these days. So they only did conversions in the engine. So
Yeah,
that's the reason the car
they used to
looks
give out kits, no?
100. They look 100% stock, but they did install several components such Alpina, the knob, these three clocks, and you
Wow,
can search here in the odometer Alpina also.
lovely.
I
Wow,
hope
what a
when
wonderful condition of the seats and the interiors.
this is excellent condition.
That's beautiful. I'm guessing again, this is one more car you have found which has very less kilometers on the on the Odo.
Yeah, this is only 25,000 because we've been
That's,
speaking with previous owners, and this has
man, I love these bonnets which open onto the front side. I love this.
yeah, this car was
So
parked
cool.
for over 20 years,
Uh-huh.
and the previous cars owner were just collectors, so none of them used this car as a daily one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is maybe you can see this as a common car, but no, this is very, very special.
This is a
This is
special car, yeah.
Alpina air filter, the Weber carburetors. This is
Hmm.
the 2000cc engine, which is written over here. You can see
Yes.
one to
Hmm.
one. What else? Well, all the frame number is over there.
Yeah.
And there is something really, really special also, which is
Yeah, you were telling me about this. The racing fuel tank.
this is cancelled. It doesn't
Hmm.
open. And the main reason for that is because the
Ah,
fuel tank has been widened. And
right.
as you can see, it has it. This was the old cap,
Yeah,
which could enter communicated with the gas tank, which was
right.
much in a much lower position. But this time,
Right.
all this underneath is gas tank, and this is
Yeah.
the gas tank.
This is the Alpina competition tank.
That's it.
Lovely stuff.
Thank you.
And I'm sure the next time when we are planning to talk about the cars side of Cafe Racer Spirit, you are going to surprise us again with a lot more new motorcycles and a lot more new cars,
Yeah,
as
we
always.
are continuously selling, buying. Well, some of them we are keeping for sure, some bikes,
Mhm.
but some others we are just, as you know, selling and continuously searching and buying new stuff.
Lovely stuff. Awesome. I think this was a great conversation that we've just had. I mean, I definitely enjoyed this.
Yeah,
And I think people who are going to see this online are going to love and enjoy it as much as we guys did talking about it. I'm sure there's so much more I'm sure we could have spoken about, but then in this amount of time and the amount of motorcycles, that the sheer number of motorcycles you have, it becomes very difficult to comprehend, to calculate, oh, let's talk about this, oh no, let's talk about that. There's so many of them. But
It's
this was
impossible.
a this was a great pleasure of having you on this chat, and thank you so much for your time spending and to show us around your workshop and show us around what you do.
It's always a pleasure talking with you. You are a very great guy, and we appreciate you,
Thank you so
And
much.
we also love about our job and talking about it. So thank you to everyone seeing this video.
Yes, and to everyone else who is going to see this video, I would highly recommend them to go check out Cafe Racer Spirit on Instagram. They have a beautiful collection of motorcycles, as you've already seen. But whatever comes new to them is always there on their Instagram. They keep communicating, they keep bringing out new bikes, which A, surprise us, and B, put us in a lot of jealousy because we cannot have them. And these guys have the nice, lovely, sunny beaches to ride them on all throughout the year.
We do a daily post on Instagram, and we upload videos to YouTube like every 3 to 4 days.
Oh yes, you have a YouTube channel as well. Yes, we
So
we should
there's
we should let people know as well about the YouTube channel that people can go there and check. I think it's in the name of Cafe Racer Spirit. Yes,
the same.
Cafe Racer
Cafe
Spirit.
Racer Spirit.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that was a good time talking to you. Thank you so much for doing this, Hugo. I hope that we can connect once again.
Yes, we will meet whenever you want. Just give us a call, and here we are.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay,
See
ciao,
you.
bye.